Welcome to my channel called Whispering Maples, and just want to give an update to section 1 of my garden. It's early June, about to head into the summer if we're not already there, and I just got done this week adding a second layer of fertilizer. I use 434 Hollytone, so very subtle. Depending on who you talk to, I'm not sure how much that really helps or doesn't help, but when it comes to maples, I'd rather be conservative and under fertilize than over fertilize. I'm sitting on a half an acre, so as it is, trees are already crammed in, so I'm not really worried about trees getting too big. I just more fertilize just to make sure they're getting the nutrients and that they're healthy. But we'll start over here. This is Crimson Queen, and this is something I had planted in the ground in the back, and first year it burned up really bad, and I didn't think it was going to make it, but I dug it up and put it in my back recovery area. And for me, the recovery area is pretty much just full shade, and it's been there for about 2 years, but it has fully recovered. It is looking really good now. One of the things that's kind of unique on this one is root flare, which I'll show you. When I dug it up, I washed it back pretty good to try to show the root flares as much as possible. And it's doing really well. And this area back here is supposed to be mostly shade, but I do get some morning sun. All right, well, this right here is Ukigumo, and it's for the most part just green. I may need to move this and get it into more shade, but it gets some morning sun, and then by mid-afternoon it's full shade. Got some really nice grass, and the reason I plant that there is because it's a hill. I try to be a good neighbor, and I try to put things in that will help soak up water, so I'm not flooding his ground. This right here is Sangokaku, and it's doing really good. I actually just pruned it about 2-3 weeks ago, and just wanted to kind of control the shape a little bit. This is one that was looking amazing 2 years ago. Last year I dug it up just to raise it because it started sinking, and I think it was in the ground too far, and it struggled. The issue was it was on a hill, so it kept wanting to come out of the ground and fall over, and I kept having to try to get it standing up straight and plant it again. Eventually I got it to stick, so but this year it's rebounding, and I know by next year it'll look really good. All right over here I got some Russian sage, and you'll see the purple flowers, and pollinators really seem to love this. So but it grows and it can get pretty big, but it dies back each year and then it just reblooms. All right, this right here, I'll come this way. This is Squirt. So far, not the biggest fan of this one. Just green doesn't really do a whole lot, but I'll give it some time, and then I can always get rid of it if I need to. This right here is Kryptonite, and it's looking really good. And you're starting to see some of that variegation starting to pop. And this one you'll actually see as the summer goes and it heats up, more variegation. All right, I've got 6 hostas here, way overgrown. I wanted to divide them last year, so dig them up, divide them, make them smaller, but I ran out of time with everything I was trying to do. All right, last video over here, this is pretty bare. I mentioned I got all these different perennials that would come back. So these are all different types of lilies, and some are starting to come in. These right here will be really nice pink and a different type of flower, but they just haven't come in yet. I would imagine I'll start seeing those in the next month or so. But and then I've got all these as well. The yellow ones were actually really popping about 2 weeks ago. All right, this right here is Ballsmith. Right here is Shigenohoshi. Let me come to this side. And this one gets a lot of variegation. It's just not showing it at this point. But I do like Shigenohoshi quite a bit. I've got another one in the back, and that one seems to always give me really good variegation. And then you can see the Ballsmith from this angle. All right, this is an Otaki. And this one I really like a lot. This is Octopus. This is Ruby de Sofia. And I've got one in the back that's in probably a little bit more shade. And that thing is looking choice. It's a lot bigger one, but you're seeing a lot of the variegation on that one. Here you're not seeing a whole lot, but see a little bit there. But yeah, Ruby de Sofia is just an unbelievable tree. And you'll notice that the leaves just have a unique shape. All right, this right here is Sunny. I'm sorry, Jordan. I mean, this is Jordan. And I've got one in the back that's in more sun, and it is like a highlighter yellow. This is Islid. It's a really cool tree. This is Kotobuki. And this one will give you some really nice variegation. I think the variegation is just starting to bloom and pop on some of these trees right now. And I'm going to show you Aridina Nishiki in just a little bit, but seems from my experience, I've got a couple of each. The Kotabukis show a lot more variegation than Aridina Nishiki does. And I pruned all these back about a month or two ago, just trying to promote some variegation. This right here is Dracula, and you can see how it gets like the blood red colors on the new growth. All right, this one is Toshi. And I really like this tree. This one's giving you some amazing red colors. And you know, it's funny because sometimes you don't know what you're going to get when you get a tree. And based on my research, I would have thought I would like Dracula more than Toshi, but it's not even close. I'll take Toshi all day longer over Dracula. All right, this is the original Nishiki I was talking about. And let's see, it's starting to get a little bit, sorry, just when it picked up. It's starting to get a little bit of the variegation, but it's not giving you a whole lot. See a little bit, but really it's mostly green for the most part. And this one right here is Red Sparkle. And this is another one that I've been really impressed with so far. This one right here is Goshiki Shidari, and this has been really consistent. I've got several of these, and they're all, well, I've got 4. 3 out of the 4 are giving me this really cool white with some pink variegation. The one that's not, it's probably because I have it in a lot of sun. And I know this one you want shade. But what I'll do sometimes is if I have multiple of the same tree, even though you may not want to put it in sun, I just do it just to see what it does, just so I can experience it myself. And then what'll happen is sometimes when you get that reddish color to the leaves, when it still looks really nice. So it's just something different. And what's nice is if I don't like it, then I can just move that one to the shade as well. Then over here, I've got 3 of the hydrangeas. This one is called Miss Sayori, and this one hasn't bloomed anything yet, but I do like it quite a bit because I like the leaves. Just a different shape and gives you the different, almost like a purplish tint to it, which is really nice. This one right here is called Let's Dance Big Bang. Only gotten 1 bloom so far, but these were small. I think 1 gallons, maybe 2 gallons when I bought them recently. I think it was 1 gallon. And this one is Nico Blue, and you can see it's not blue, it's pink. And I believe it's probably because of the soil levels. So I may need to play with that. And then this right here is Tamuki Yama, and this thing is growing really big. I'll show you some more angles of this thing. But you can't go wrong with Tamuki Yama. It just gives you great color, great shape, it grows, it's easy to take care of. It's just such a good tree. And I heavily pruned this one back this year, and it's responding well. It really liked it. So this right here is White Peaches, and it's not really doing a whole lot right now, but I do know from experience White Peaches will put on a show. It's just kind of faded out right now, but all right, this is one I just planted in here. One I got at the recent Mr. Maple open house, but this is El Tigre. And this one's kind of unique compared to a lot of the other Makawa types because the leaves are just so small and just something different. When you look at all the Makawa types, I mean, El Tigre kind of stands out. Like you can tell right away it's El Tigre. Compared to some of the other ones, they may be hard to get to notice the difference based on time of year. And this right here is Goldilocks. And it's getting a cone right there. right, and then I've got three spireas here, candy corn. You can see all three, and it gives you some really nice colors. It's constantly popping different colors, as you can see, and then it flowers. And when the flower comes out, originally on this one, it's kind of like a pinkish purplish, but it's really nice. And then eventually, it moves to kind of like that dead-looking color. But just a great easy tree plant. What's cool about it too is it'll die back each year and then rebloom. And then right here, this is a Magishigori, which is a very nice tree. Some of the colors this thing gets is just amazing. Back here is Farnsburg. And this is a really cool one. This is Tanima no Yuki. And one of the things you'll notice is it gives you white variegation. And it's starting to really pop that variegation. I would imagine as the summer goes on and it heats up, you're going to see a lot more of the white. This is Cohort's Icebreaker. Just a coral bell. And it's cool as you'll start seeing some flowers. Got some daylilies there. And back here in the corner, hidden away, is Tattoo. And this is Makawa Yatsubusa, looking really good. And you can see it's getting some new growth. This is Karsten's Winter Gold. And you can still see a little bit of the highlighter yellow, but come winter time, this thing is going to be so bright. And this is Wiggles. This one is Goldeneye. And I've got three more spireas here. These are called Big Bang. And they're supposed to be similar in size, maybe slightly larger than the candy corn. But from my experience, these are growing like crazy. I'm gonna have to do something with these things. They're just too big for here. So I'm either gonna have to maybe prune it, get it smaller, or move it to the back, or maybe get rid of them. But they're nice. I think I prefer the candy corn. But you see it gets some of the same type of colors. In the spring, the colors are different. You can see the blooms there. There's a better one. Very similar, and then same thing. It'll eventually turn that color. But I've got a push right here that is being taken over by these spireas. So leave a comment, any suggestions if you've got these. Should I prune these back? should I move them? Any suggestions, I appreciate it. And then this right here is yellow threads. And this is one that I saw at the Mr. Maple open house. I think it wasn't this past fall, I think it was the year before. And this thing puts on amazing colors in the fall. And as soon as I saw it, I knew I wanted it and ended up picking up a second one. But it's doing really well. You can see it's got some pretty cool colors. This right here is Celebration. And you can just see this is really nice. And please comment if there's anything you want me to show you or do differently that I'm not showing you. As you can tell, the channel is fairly new, and I'm still figuring out what I want to do as far as videos and what to show. But primarily the reason I'm doing these videos is just for myself. I want to be able to track my trees, see how they grow. Plus, my memory sometimes isn't the best, so I forget what colors things turn. So it's just kind of neat to be able to watch videos of my own trees just to see what's going on and what has changed. And then I would originally just post them in the Mr. Maple group, and then I had several people ask if I could create a channel, so that's what I did. And this one right here is for Cage Jacus Pottus, and any of these feather type trees I really like. I've got another one in the back that's getting more sun and starting to show some reds. This one is just kind of green still, so I may end up moving this into more sun at some point. This is another Wiggles, a little bit bigger than the other one, but they just have such cool twists and turns. And then you can see even the color of the leaves, they're just like different shades, like 3-4 different types of shades. Just a really cool tree. And I like them all, whether it's Wiggles, Squiggles, Recurve, Green Twist. I mean, they're very similar, just different sizes. And this right here is Fred's Wild Dream. And this one is another one that just gives you just some amazing colors, and the leaves have a really cool shape. And I talked about this before, but there's trees that you get that you're expecting to absolutely love, and you get them and they just end up being okay. And then there's trees such as this that you're not expecting a whole lot and becomes one of your favorites, because every time you look at it, it is doing something new, and the colors and shape of the leaves are just so cool. But Fred's Wild Dream is one I highly recommend if you don't have it. And this right here is Woods number 2, and I love all the different types of Japonicums, but this, I really like Woods number 2. It's giving you some really big leaves. And so far I've had this about 2 years, and it was a really small 1 gallon, but it's starting to grow. All this up top is new growth, but it's doing really well back here in this shaded area. All right, this is Goldilocks. It's pretty cool. It gives you a lot of those nice looking cones. And I'm hoping you guys can see this pretty good. It's pretty bright out today, so sometimes it's hard to shoot videos when it's so bright, but I've been so busy I haven't been able to do any videos lately. And this is Twombly's Red Sentinel, and it's doing really good here. And I've mentioned this numerous times. This is supposed to be more columnar tree. This one is not. I think because it gets a lot of shade, especially later in the day, it starts to search for the sun. And you see this one popping out to the left. What it was doing was popping out towards me in the front. And this past year, I dug the tree up because it was starting to bend as well. And I turned the tree, but it's doing really good. And it just looks great from the street. So this big tree in the middle is Siriu, and it is doing so well. It's in full sun, just eats it up, and it provides a lot of shade for these other trees that I put underneath it. And I'll just walk around here and you'll see how big the trunk is. Starting over here, this is Yellow Cascade. And this one right here is, it's more green. My other ones are more of a highlighter yellow, but I got those in sun, and this one's getting filtered sun, heavy shade. But I've got about 4 or 5 of these, and I just wanted to see what it would do in shade, and the color is just a lot different. It's more of a chartreuse, but the leaves on this are so healthy and doing well compared to the ones that are in a lot of sun. The color is nicer as far as it being like a highlighter, kind of a bleached out yellow, but the leaves are starting to burn. So but I do like it here, and it's just something different. Right here is Snow Kitten, and you can see it's getting some nice variegation. And as you can see, I've got this one in a pot, and I'm fortunate enough to have 4, 2 in pots, 2 in the ground. And I hear people questioning, should you put Snow Kitten in a ground or a pot? And from my experience, it's been absolutely no difference. They're all doing well, and they all have very nice variegation. All right, this right here is Sheerman. Just such a unique tree. See the coral bells. This right here is Abby's Weeping, and it is doing very well. And this one will give you some amazing colors in the fall. This is Fouquet. Gives you some nice variegation on those leaves / needles. And this one is Black Dragon. All right, this is Dr. Brown, and it's, for the most part, pretty green right now. I've got one in the back that's in pretty much full sun, and it's got a little bit more color, but did want to see what this would do in filtered sun. Chief Joseph, doing really well. And you can see it's put on a lot of new growth this year, and you can still see some of the burnt needles is from still shedding them from last year. But this one turns golden yellow, and then what winds up happening is the needles get so burnt that eventually they will shed on them, and you'll get new needles. This one is Kauai, and you can see some really cool colors down below. And this is Green River. And you can see it starting, but this one will start getting kind of like a bleached out effect in the middle, which during the summer, and it looks really nice. This is Fukuzumi. This is Ladybug. And right here you got a really nice coral bell, and you can see the flowers that it blooms. This is Kurahime, and this one was really putting on a show this spring, and it lasted quite a bit. You can still see some coloring on the tips, but this is tamed down quite a bit compared to where it was just even a month ago. Just a great tree. This is Hime Goyomatsu. And I do like this one quite a bit. It just gives you some unique shapes. Alright, this is Filigree. And last year during the summer, the green lightened up quite a bit. So interested to see what it does this year, but I would imagine it'll do the same thing. But yeah, I really like Filigree. Back here, this one's growing like crazy, but it's called Small Cone. Here's another coral bell one. You can see the nice flowers. And this is Marmalade. And this one I had in full sun in the other island up top, but it looked like it was starting to, some of the leaves are burning. And I've got several marmalades. I'm very fortunate because I go to all the open houses, so I'm generally able to find a lot of these hard cultivars to get. But every one I've got is in pretty much full sun, so I decided let me move this over underneath this Cereus so it's getting more of a filtered sun, heavy shade, and just want to see what it does and how the colors change. And that's one of the advantages of having stuff in pots, is that you can move things around, play with the sun, and decide what where you want to keep your trees. All right, so in the center I got Hot Blonde, and I bought this at the Mr. Maple Fall open house last year as a 7-gallon, and it was really putting on a show in the fall. Not that long ago, I saw a lot of salmon color on the leaves, and I've got 2 more of these Hot Blondes in the back, and from my experience, what winds up happening with Hot Blonde is the first year, maybe even 2 years, it will get some burn, but by year 3, it's rock solid in the sun. So long term, this is going to be really nice here. I'm going to get it in the ground. I just personally didn't want to put it in the ground yet because I had a big tree here until earlier this year. Cut it down, got this area grinded, and When you grind, I think it's the nitrogen levels go pretty high. So it's best not to plant stuff in the ground for at least, depending on who you ask, 3 months, 6 months. So the only things I put in ground here are things I'm not too concerned about. This right here is growing really nice. This is a gold coin, a Scots pine. And this thing is going to turn really bright yellow come winter time. This right here is chipmunk, and this thing's growing like crazy. This thing was so small just a few months ago, but it is taking off and doing very well. Got some nice coral bells. This right here is golden wool Tony, which is a juniper, and it gets highlighter bleach blonde and will stay low to the ground, just kind of easy to take care of. This right here is Tattoo, and you can see I'm pushing it with the sun, but it's giving me some really nice colors. You're seeing all the highlights on the edge of the tips. And this is a Twinkle Toes, doing really well here. This is Emma, and this has some amazing colors. All right, this right here is Winter Sun, just a Mugo pine. This is Dorigo Prequaquette. This is Red Spider. And this is where that marmalade was, and I decided to swap both of these. I'm glad I did, because this was greening up, but it seems to prefer the sun. So some nice colors. This is Burke's Red Variegated, and you can see it gets some really nice yellow. And this one is Hoop's Eye, and I can't say it enough. This conifer is amazing. Comment if you know of any other conifers that give you this highlighter ice blue color. But I personally haven't seen it. Even something like, which I'll get to later, my Horseman is supposed to be pretty bright, but it's nowhere close to this. All right, this one is called Hillside Winter Gold, and it's doing really well. If you've seen a previous video, you would notice that this one was eating up pretty bad from the sun. This is another one where it just turns golden yellow in the winter. And what I'm noticing is on a lot of these conifers that turn golden yellow is a lot of them, what'll happen is come spring, those needles need to die off. And so for a month or two, it's going to look pretty rough, where you're wondering how, hopefully this tree is okay, but it ends up giving you new needles, and then it looks really good and healthy again. And this one is Azuma. All right, and this is another one that has looked amazing all year. This is Kuranijishi, and it is just now starting to green up. but it still it still has some color. But this one was nice burgundy for the longest time, but still just such a good tree. And this is Goshiki Kitohime. And then last but not least on this area is Lemon Lime Lace. And I've got another one in the back that's in more shade and it is green. But as you can see, this one being in full sun, it's eating it up. It's not having any issues as far as the leaves burning, but the color is just a completely different. It's still got, green background, but it's got a lot of rosy, peachy, orangey color in it. And to me, just looks so good. All right, this will be the last area for section 1, but this is my horseman, and it is growing and doing really well. And you can see it's got a lot of new growth. This is Japanese Princess. And this right here is Abby's Weeping. And this one looks so good. And this is one, when I first got it, it was basically just 2 branches popping left and right. This one I kind of staked it up just to give it a different shape. And it is now starting to fill in all the middle areas. So I would imagine by next year this thing's going to be filled in really nice. But it is doing great here. All right, Cohort's Icebreaker. And this is probably the largest Chief Joseph that I have. Still only a couple feet tall, but it is doing so good. And this is one that was highlighter yellow last winter, and it looked pretty rough coming into the spring, or just because it started, well, not probably going into spring, but during spring, it started losing all those leaves, and you can see them kind of, the needles on the ground, but it is rebounded and is looking great. This is Lily Pad. And you can see this one's got some really nice variegation. And same thing as Kryptonite. As the season goes on, you're going to see more and more of that variegation. And this is a cool little conifer called Hedgehog. And then right below it, you got the blues. And the blues gives you some really nice ice colors too, but it's still not quite as bright as that Hoop's Eye. This is Dixie Delight. And yes, I know this tree will probably have to be moved at some point, but I wanted to get it in the ground up here for the winter interest because of the bark. And then as it grows, I'll dig it up and move it. And this is Carson's Winter Gold. And this right here is Hanamatoi. And it was bright color up until recently. A lot of pinks. It's greening up a little bit. But it's doing really well here in full sun, and it's growing. This is Amber Gold. Another one that's going to turn bright yellow. And this is Green Twist. So Green Twist will get larger than like Wiggles and Squiggles, but very similar. Now this is Makawa Yachibusa Seedling, and I'm still amazed by this one. One, it's growing like crazy, but two, just has taken on to me such an amazing shape, just very unique and different. Because right about there, everything up top is new growth from last year, but it's grown really good. And giving you some colors. This is Nana Lutea. And this one's grown really nice. This is the Pendula, and you can see it's got some really nice big cones. It's doing really well back there. And then right here I got Gold Drift, and this thing will get golden color. It's but it's doing really well. And then right here is Red Panda, and this thing is growing. I've got several Red Pandas, and this is by far the largest one. But you can see all the red new growth popping throughout the tree. I'll see some of these trees go for crazy amounts on eBay. Makes me wonder what this one would sell for, because this thing is huge. I'd say it's probably maybe 3 feet tall and probably a good 4.5, 5 feet wide, I'm guessing. Maybe 4.5 feet wide and 2.5, 3 feet tall. But I personally have never seen one this big. Alright, this one right here is Beauty Girl Broom, which I really like. Sorry, the air conditioning turned on, but you can see the new growth. Alright, this is Goldilocks. And you can see this one because it's getting more sun, just giving you some better colors than some of the other ones I showed earlier. And I might end up moving the other one and putting something else there, just because I do like how this one looks in full sun. Coral Bell. This is Jerry Schwartz. Absolutely love Jerry Schwartz. You can see it's got some color in the new growth, and hopefully you can see it. It's so bright, it's hard for me to even tell where I'm facing the camera sometimes. But for the most part, it has greened up. And this right here is Purple Curl. And I am starting to see some of the molting color, which is what you want to see. And I believe this is one that the longer you have it, the more it's going to show the molting and the different colors and so forth. I know a lot of people compare it to Magic Moon, and I got a Magic Moon in the back, and that thing had done nothing for close to 2 years, where I was like, yeah, this one's a dud. And then now it's starting to show, and sometimes you just have to give trees some time to take their form and shape and colors and characteristics and so forth. And this is Twombly's Red Sentinel, and you can see how the shape of this one is so different than the other one in the front. Both really nice, but this is going to give you more of the shape that you want with the Twombly's going pretty much straight up. And I think last year I did have like 2 branches that came out sideways, and I just pruned them off. I thought about air layering them, but then I was like, you know what? I just want this tree looking good. I didn't feel like messing with an air layer since it was in the front of the house or side of the house. All right, last few trees. This is Anna's Magic Ball. It's looking really good. This is a unique one called Sunny Gnome. And you'll start seeing some highlighter yellow, maybe not highlighter, but you'll see some yellow pushing through as it heats up. And then this is Shin Hikasa. Let's see some of that variegation. And that's the, I guess, section 1 of my garden tour. If you like it, please like and subscribe. Please comment with any suggestions of videos you'd like to see, anything you would like me to change or do differently. I am open to suggestions. You know, I'm still learning this hobby. You know, I've learned a lot and fairly knowledgeable for as little as I've been doing it. I've been doing it for about 2.5 years, but when you buy as many trees and you're watching videos nonstop and you're talking to everybody in the chats, you go to all the open houses, you learn a lot. So hope you liked the video, and have a great day.